Good evening, everybody. Welcome. 2025 is amongst us. We're half a month in already. It's hard to believe, isn't it? Wasn't so long ago we just ticked over a New Year's. Now, what's a new year look like? It's an interesting conversation as far as us sitting here making new, well, you're supposed to make up new challenges for yourself and all these things you say you're going to do. Tonight, it's about someone that's actually done it and set himself a challenge and delivered in spades. So let's talk about Jack Hanley, also known as the Crazy Running Man. Big title, big shoes to fill. Let's see how he went on this journey. But just let's set the scene and find out, who is this Crazy Running Man?
The craziest thing you've ever seen. His name is the Crazy Running Man.
Crazy Running Man.
Running Man. Crazy Running Man. You're upping the ante.
100 kilometres a day.
For 100 days.
10,000 kilometres from Cairns to Melbourne. Cairns to Victoria.
Way down to Melbourne on foot.
Marathons a day.
I honestly I'm cynical about this. I don't want to put cold water on this.
But you can't train for something like this. Your body might tuck in, but I'm going to give it my best shot. Tuck in all together.
Thanks for doing what you're doing. It's an inspirational story. Definitely Forrest Gumpish, isn't it? It is a bit. Crazy Running Man.
Forrest Gumpish. That's most people's recollection of someone that a crazy running man. Cliff Young back in the day, if you're old enough to remember old Cliffy, used to run, I think he ran Melbourne to Sydney in gumboots at a ripe old age of, he was over 60, I think, at the time. So ran all the way through the night, through the day, and much longer than that. But Jack, he's been running a lot longer than that. Only a young man, but God, he's done some work in this space. And mental health is a big topic of what we talk about on this show, and we try and do that once a month. So I'll talk about a chance meeting first of all. I was down in Albert Park pre-Christmas. I was down there at the carousel having a meeting for upcoming daughters and son-in-laws wedding to be. Now, I just having a chat as we're driving in. I see a group of guys running around Albert Park, as you do, and I said to my son-in-law, I think that's the Crazy Running Man. And I'd been following Jack on his journey a little bit before that for some time actually, and it was just a chance weird conversation we went past, and I thought, oh yeah, I'll just leave it at that. And then anyway, we went in, we had the meeting, and we came out, and the boys had just finished for the day, I believe, that kind of, and they're in the carousel kind of car park having a drink, and I just thought, this is one of those too good to be true moments. I've got to go and have a chat and just say, mate, you're doing an incredible job. I'm sure he gets to hear that a lot, but sometimes you just need to take an opportunity just to thank someone that's doing something good. So I just did that and had a chat to Jack, and then shot him a message, and we've tried to hook up this conversation for a little while now. I let him go on his journey in amongst that. I think he was around day 80, 88, somewhere like that, one of those kind of numbers. So he had a little bit of time left to go, and then we kind of planned to catch up then. Now, a few things happen in between that we'll even discuss tonight, and then we fast forward all the way through to middle of January. So here we are with a great meeting to get a chance to have a chat to Jack Hanley, aka the Running Man. Let's bring him up for a chat. Welcome to the show, Jack.
Oh, good day, Az. Thanks for having us on. It's good to finally get the opportunity to chat to you. We've been trying to make this happen for a while, so yeah, it's very good the day's finally come.
Yeah, I'm very excited about this one, mate. Mental health big on both of our conversations and journeys at the moment. I see a little map behind us as the background tonight, and God, you filled some space in amongst this journey, mate. It's been an incredible one. I just wanted to pick it up with just one quick vid of what the challenge was going to be at this stage after we went from the initial challenge. Here we go.
Came up with the challenge of running 50k every day for 50 days while still working full-time as a landscaper. We ran 50k a day for 50 days straight, totaling 2,500 k's, but that wasn't enough, so we're back for more. This time running 100k a day for 100 days, totaling 10,000 k's. Let's go! My name's Jack. I'm running 100k every day for 100 days straight. That's the equivalent of 237 marathons and a total of 10,000 Ks. Yeah, that would be the equivalent of running from Melbourne to Cape Town. Our goal for the event is to raise awareness around mental health and create connection through movement. 43% of Australians suffer from a mental health illness over the course of their life, and it's something that I have struggled with in the past. So I'm really passionate about creating awareness around mental health. Our goal is to raise $430,000 for the 43% of Australians that suffer a mental health illness. Our challenge starts September 6th and finishes on December 15th. My name's Charlie McGaw, and I'll be running.
All right, there we are, Jack. There's a couple of other boys involved, obviously, in amongst these challenges, which we'll talk about as well. But tonight, mate, crazy running man. Talk about live up to the reputation, mate. Firstly, how did that name come about and stick? Crazy is obviously one thing, but the running man is another beast. So, where did that come from? First of all, who titled you that?
Oh, I actually, it's funny because I always like to have a little bit of fun with my my Instagram name. So originally it was the Crazy Turf King because I'm a landscaper by trade. So
Yep.
I loved the turf lane and loved turf. So, but yeah, as I soon found a love for running, we decided to change it to the Crazy Running Man just before I did the ran 50k a day for 50 days in 2023. So yeah, it's something that had a bit of fun with, and now it's sort of just stuck with, and people call me the CRM or short, nickname CRM or So that's sort of stuck now.
Yep. And running, mate. Why running? How did that come about initially? Like, have you always been a runner? You kind of look like nice, thin, fit-looking guy, mate. It wasn't always the case, surely.
Nah, it certainly wasn't, mate. I was always into my sports and running at school,
Yep.
primary school, high school. Always played footy my whole life, and then sort of finished high school in 2013. And didn't really do too much running after that. I sort of was just into that party lifestyle, going out on the weekends. I kept playing footy the whole way through, but my fitness and my health was sort of something I didn't really care about too much. And I certainly wasn't in the shape I was now. I was weighing about 92 kilos at one stage. So, but during 2020, during COVID, I've actually got back into running. One of my mates by the name of Matt, he actually messaged me one day and said, "Oh, do you want to go for a run?" He'd been doing a bit of running, and I thought, why not? I hadn't, during that tough time, a lot of people, you couldn't see your friends, family. It was a very strange time to be alive, and personally, I was struggling a fair bit. I was using certain things to get by, stuff that I've had trouble with in the past, which I could happy to go into detail with, which is a lot of cocaine at the time. I've caught up with him and started doing a few runs here and there, and then pretty much from the start of 2021, I sort of for the next few months I sort of was running maybe 2 or 3 times a week, and then I decided to make a change in 2021. I decided to do the whole year sober, and do a fundraiser for a mental health foundation called Mental Health Foundation Australia. And each kilometre I ran throughout that year, I'll donate $1 towards the fundraiser. And that's really what kickstarted things for me. I got back into running full time, gym, footy, and I just the feeling that it gave me after I finished a run is something that I love, and it's you feel on top of the world. It gives you more energy for the rest of the day, and it's something that I've really found helps my mental health and sets me up for the day. And I've found the tool of running. Obviously back in the day, I used to use a lot of cocaine, or I'd go drinking to make myself feel better when I was struggling. Now all I do is one massive tool I use is running now. If I'm having a bad day, all I got to do is chuck my 2 shoes on, head out the door. I can go for a run solo, or I can catch up with mates and go for a run, and you feel a lot better afterwards. So That's just a little bit insight to where the running journey has began. So
Sure.
yeah, 2021 is when it sort of really started to kickstart for me, and I got back right back into running.
Yeah. So taking up running again, what was the moment that flipped the script to you, for you? What was the point where you just said, right, enough's enough. I got to do something, and running's the bit for me. Was it an all-time bottom low for you? What snapped you out of this party
Yeah,
lifestyle, I guess you'd say,
yeah.
into a
So
year to decide it's a year sober, and this is what I'm going to do.
yeah, so back to 2020 during COVID. As I said, I got back into running with one of my mates, and then I was still using cocaine at that time. I was using it by myself. I was living with my grandma. Um, yeah, obviously, it became a real big problem for me. And I ended up having a seizure in July 2020, late July 2020.
Yep.
And that was a pretty bad night. That was, yeah, pretty dark time. I was at my
I bet.
grandma's house. She was luckily she was there to be able to, see it happen and
Mm.
call an ambulance and luckily no permanent damage from it. But yeah, I sort of after that I've did about 6 weeks sober, and
Yep.
then I decided to have a little bit more again.
Mm.
But it wasn't to that extent. Having a seizure or anything, and my family was just worried all the time, and I ended up deciding they wanted me to get some help, but I actually wanted to get some help myself. So I went to rehab for a month. In end of September, about mid-September 2020.
Yep.
I did a month in there and then came out, and it was a real big kick up the arse rehab. Something that sort of kicked things into action for me.
Mm.
As I've said to a lot of people, it's rehab. It's not going to do it for you. You've got to still want to change yourself. And I'd been to rehab a few times in the past when I was younger, but I wasn't doing it for myself. I didn't care. I just was doing it to keep my family happy, to get
Yeah.
myself out of trouble a few times. But this time around, I actually wanted to go myself.
Yeah.
I said
Was it
enough's enough. This
was
is
it
this is
because of the medical episode that was probably, incredibly scary at the time, and you saw the impact? Had you had one of those moments before, previous?
Yes, yeah. So that
Yep.
was the second seizure I had. So I actually had a seizure on Boxing Day, Christmas night, Boxing Day morning, in 2019. So that was the second
Okay.
seizure. But yeah, it definitely, obviously, was a scary moment. But it was
Mm.
something that this time I knew I wanted to change. I'd had
Yep.
enough of living the way I was. It wasn't an enjoyable lifestyle. I wasn't, obviously needed to address the way I was feeling internally and mentally.
Mm.
So yeah, then I came out of rehab, did 3 months sober up until Christmas time, and I've actually started working full time with my old boss that I had started my apprenticeship in landscaping with previously back in 2019, but I lost my job due to having Mondays off and big nights. So I
Yep.
started back with him, and then over the Christmas break, I decided to have a drink at the Christmas party and a little bit of a dabble in it. And I knew I was never going to go back to the way I was,
Mm.
but my family was still so worried when I was going out drinking and all that. And
Sure.
that's just sort of what drove me at the start to do the year sober, because I really wanted to show them, all right, I'm changing this time. Like,
Mm.
I don't want to live this life anymore. So yeah, I decided to do the whole year sober, and I really stripped it back and got back into running, fitness. Moved out for the first time in 2021. Started my first year apprenticeship as a landscaper, and it's funny because obviously as time went on throughout 2021, my driver for doing it actually changed. Like, it wasn't to show my family; it was actually, all right, this is what I want to do for
Mm.
myself. I want to do this for myself because I want to change and I want to be this person and show people who the real Jack is.
Yep.
And that was, yeah, it was the best year. That was honestly the best year of my life. And that's, really what kickstarted things for me.
Did you think at the time, Jack, 12 months is a long time? why 12 months? Was that just a number that you threw at it, or was it something out of rehab? What was
Nah,
it that
that was
became
just
12 months?
I just wanted to, prove at the start, as I said, my drive was to prove to my family, but
Yep.
then that quickly changed as time went on. And obviously, when especially when you've been using a lot of cocaine, you're not, a lot of the time, you're not thinking straight and you don't
Sure.
see scenarios properly. And as time went on, I actually started to, think a bit clearer and your thoughts and you have more clarity with things. So
Yep.
that was, that's what changed for me big time about 3-4 months. And I was like, oh, I want to do this for myself. And then now, as time went on during that year, I'm like, I want to help other people that are still stuck in that same situation
Mm.
and in that same cycle that I was. And
Yep.
that's what I want to do. That's my whole aim now, is to help others that you can change. You're not going to feel the way you are forever. And if you do speak openly about it or get some help, it goes a long way to help your mental health and help you change who you are, the way you've been behaving, or the person you have been.
Well, it's, as you know, Jack, we all know it's bloody hard in those hard times trying to do things by yourself and alone.
Yeah.
Out there running by yourself alone, at all hours of the day and night. What was that like? And what are those mental demons that go through your head during those phases and challenges and a lot of thinking time?
Yeah. So are you more saying while doing the challenge or just like in running in general?
Even when you were kind of doing that 12 months sober, obviously you discovered running, in amongst that phase again and got back up and going.
Yep.
Was it there? Obviously, there would have been plenty of times when it was a solo run, but how supportive, obviously you've been with mates and community getting around you as well during this whole journey. Forget the first challenge or this, and even the second challenge now, but just the initial getting up and going again. How important is it to have someone in your corner, not flying solo, and being able to bounce things off and have a chat about life and where you actually, honestly feel at the time?
Oh, 100%. As it goes a long way. It's something that I always try and tell people, you don't have to fight it on your own. It could be
Mm.
the smallest little issue that's for you, but it could be big for someone else. And as soon as you speak to someone about it, it doesn't have to be, it could be anyone. It could be your friend. It could be your mum. It could be your dad. It could be a psychologist, whoever it is. But once you do speak openly about it, you feel a lot better. And that with having that support from others out there is what certainly helps you, get along a long way and improve your mental health and the way that you're feeling about yourself. So, but it's I had great support the whole way. Like, obviously, you know, I've been around people drinking and doing drugs all the time. Like, as you know, it's a thing in society. A lot of people do it. Heaps of people do it.
Yep.
And I had support the whole way through when I was doing that whole year sober. And I still do now. No one ever pushes me to have a drink. And you know what? I have had a drink since then, and I have still, had a few slip ups on the way. I'm not perfect, which is what I always tell people, but it's something that, I'm still a work in progress, and it's something that I know it doesn't work for me. But yeah, as I said, I'm not perfect, and the more and more I have done it, is the more and more I don't want to do it again. So
Mm. Yep.
this year I'm actually doing the whole year sober again. So we're starting
Right.
there
Yep.
again. Not that I had been drinking much anyway.
Sure.
I did it probably 3 times for the year last year.
Yep.
But yeah, it's just more to the point. Like, I just don't. It doesn't work. I know for me it doesn't work anymore, and
Mm.
I've found other things in life that I enjoy doing, and I'm a much better person without it in my life.
Yeah. Well, one thing that gripped me first, mate, was things like your Instagram and you up and about and all those comments that you're geeing up people on the runs and getting people involved, and you got one of those voices just resonates. The moustache was up and thick, the mullet was growing quick. It was captivating, to be honest. And in the world of social media where you struggle for kind of cut through and content, you're one of those stories that just kept popping up, and I had to kind of watch. You were the must watch 15 seconds for me. So Well, first of all, mate, thanks for taking us, so many people on the ride with you. I touched on just before as we jumped on, just before we did jump on, that I don't think, Jack, you realise how many people you've been able to touch in amongst this part of the big wide world that's out there now in social media. You probably got a heap of messages from people, supportive messages. A truckload of people jumped on the run in amongst different days and venues and areas. But just thank you, mate, for everything you're doing in the space of mental health. I know you started off doing it as a challenge really for yourself, but you've taken so many people on this ride, mate. So I just wish you all the best for the future and all the next challenges you take on.
No, I appreciate that. As I always said, mate, it's if we can help others out there, that's what I aim to do, because I love building that community. And as I said, we've just started up Miles for Smiles, but the last challenge we just did, the 100 to have so many people come down, get involved, all the messages that we received, that honestly blew us away, and it's something that I will cherish forever. And the whole team at Miles for Smiles, not just myself, there's 4 of us. We cannot wait for this year ahead. We've got some big things planned, so we're going to continue to build this Miles for Smiles community, because it's our motto is one in, all in. So we look after everyone.
And a good mate of mine says he went for his first run in over 18 months today in readiness for tonight's show. What an inspiration, a great effort, Jack. So, mate, we talked jokingly to a few mates of mine when I was talking about you and the 100Ks, and some people don't put 10,000 Ks on their car in a year, mate. So it's quite an incredible effort. Obviously the 50/50s was an incredible one. The 50 kilometers a day for 50 days. Why did you decide to up the ante by so much? 100 by hundreds is just an epic challenge to try and see if you can pull off. How did that come about?
Yeah, so obviously, do you want me to give you a quick rundown of the 50/50s?
Sure. Yeah. Yep.
So back in October 2023, I decided to run 50K a day for 50 days straight, while still working full time as a landscaper. And honestly, it was so much fun, that whole 50 days. Like, I couldn't believe how many people come down and got involved. We used to have anywhere between 30 to 70 people come down and get involved with the runs. And just the amount of people that I met through it that I hadn't met before, and from different parts of the community coming down to each of the runs, was honestly amazing. And it was a big fundraiser for a mental health and wellbeing program we started up at my footy club, called Out of the Blue. I played down at De La Salle in Melbourne. So yeah, it was that was awesome. And so yeah, I finished that, and I sort of had, obviously wanted to. I put up really well from it. I loved every minute of it. And I sort of came up. It was just before, I reckon, Christmas. I finished on the 1st of December, and it was just before Christmas 2023. And I went to my coach and I said to him, I said, "Look, Kev, this is what I want to do next." And I said 100K a day for 100 days. And he goes, he's been amazing for me. He's the best coach in the business. He's been not only just a great coach, but a great support and always there for us. And he goes, "All right, let's get to work. We'll get you up and running for it, and get you firing for when you want to do it." And he's never said, "Nah, that's just stupid." He's not like that. So he always had the faith in me that I could do it. So we came up with the idea of running 100K a day for 100 days. It was 4 times the amount, but I also knew this time around I wasn't going to be working. So that's what sort of gave me the confidence to be able to do it. So yeah, that's where that started. And I also, it's one of those things I'd never want to do it on my own.
Yep.
So I had one of my mates, Charlie McGaw, who we actually ran our first 100K together in early 2023. So he's a founder of Miles for Smiles, and he was massive during the 50/50s. He ran 12/50s. And he just got back from Europe before I started, so he did no training, and he just came down, got involved. And I said to him, "Look, Chucky boy, this is what I want to do, and I want you to be a part of it. And he goes, mate, I'm in straight away. And he was unbelievable over the 100 days. He didn't miss a K, ran 50K every day for 100 days. And he was awesome. And obviously the number one support in the business, I had my uncle, the clumsy riding man, on the bike every day as well, doing 100K. He's he quit his job to do this, to take on the event. And he's been unbelievable support for me, and not just myself, but everyone that came down and got involved. He's always up for a chat, getting around others. And then obviously had my other mate Louis. He's also a co-founder of Miles for Smiles, and he was a big support for us on the road, crewing for us, getting everything organised. Unfortunately, he had a few injuries, so he couldn't do too much running. But yeah, the four of us are very keen for what's going to what 2025 is going to bring us this year, and what we're going to do with Miles for Smiles.
Beautiful. And mate, tell us a bit about your uncle. That to break a wrist on the bike, and then just jump back on again and keep coming. Mate, that's an incredible effort in itself.
Yeah, so he actually broke his wrist in the 50-50. So he fell off on day 5.
Yeah, right.
And yeah, he rode the whole way through with a broken wrist in a car in a little cast. Yeah, he's one of a kind, the clumsy riding man, and someone that everyone really enjoys being around. He's as I said, he's just a great person and always there supporting others. And he's my father passed away when I was 3, so he's been a massive father figure for me.
Yep.
Throughout the years, and someone that I really look up to and appreciate everything that he's done for me over the years and over the journey.
Yep. And in amongst these runs, mate, obviously the body's one thing that tries to bring you undone, I guess you'd say. But yeah, the mental demons that go through your head of you kind of seem like the guy that can now start to really push through those. And no matter how much you look like you're hurting, Jack, you're up and going again. There was one stage we were going to have the interview, and I got a message from one of your boys on your Instagram that said, "Look, Jack, we'd love to, but Jack's really struggling at the moment." And I saw an update, and you were hurting, mate. You were hurting pretty bad with the body, and the body was packing it in on you. You went away and had a sleep, and a couple of hours later, mate, you were up and going again, and finishing some crazy hours, to the point where you're finishing, I think, well after midnight that night. Just tell us a bit about that mental challenge that comes with when the body says no, mate. How do you just keep pushing on?
Yeah, so that's I remember the day that we were meant to come on that day. It was that night. Sorry, it was that was the treadmill Tuesdays that we usually do. So I started in the morning, and there was just the body was actually not too bad. It was more mentally. I just like, there was no part of me that wanted to run. I had a few, there's a few things going on in my life that that I was struggling with a bit mentally, and there was just no part of me that wanted to run. And I kept running, and I got 50K done, and I honestly thought I was done. Like, I couldn't mentally, I just couldn't do it. Like, there was just nothing I had left to give that I wanted to run. There's no part of me that wanted to run, and I said, "All right, I'm going to go home. I'm going to have a nap." I had something to eat, and I was in bed, and I get about 3 of my mates come to the door and open up the door, and they go, "All right, mate, let's go. Let's do it." And to have them come over, like, that's what I mean. It's just that support from others. Like, they came over to get me up and going, and then we went down to the AEST track, and about 30 people came down and ran with us, and most of them stayed till, we think we finished about 10:30 that night. And
Crazy.
to have that support from them to come down is what it's all about. And without them coming down, and as I said the whole way through, like, there's so many times where I didn't feel like I wanted to run anymore, but to have people coming down, supporting you, getting involved, is something that obviously kept me going and obviously pushed me to keep going. And, when other people come down, I want to get around them because that's what it's all about. It's not this isn't just about me doing the 100K every day. This is about everyone coming down and you want to create that good energy, create that good feeling. And that's what it was so good to see. And to see so many people, push themselves to run a distance that was going to be difficult for them, but achievable. So many people ran PBs and distances they never thought they could before. Like, I don't know, do you want me to touch on day 100 or do you want me to?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Let's go there. Yep.
Yeah, okay. So, like, even day 100, we had 15 people run 100K that day. 9 people run their first 100.
Brilliant.
Like, and we had throughout the day, I think there was about 250 to 300 people that ran throughout the whole day.
Yep.
And it was just to see a big sea of blue running around Albert Park was honestly amazing. So
Would have been hard to wipe that
very,
smile.
very, very special day. And, at Miles for Smiles, we wanted to make that day about everyone that had been involved over the 100 days or pretty much obviously the last 50 days back in Melbourne. But yeah, we wanted to make that about everyone that had been involved. It was such a special day and one of the best days I've been a part of.
Yeah, I think that's really important to cap it off. Obviously, there was a big celebration kind of planned for that 100 days, and it happened in a big way. And then just tell us a little bit about what kind of defines success for you now based on that. I mean, there's the conversation in relation to, okay, did you achieve the challenge? Then you went away and did some extra Ks to make up for some stuff. Just tell us a little bit clear that up about what really happened there.
Yeah, so obviously had the challenge of running 100K a day for 100 days, which is 10,000 Ks. On the road, I really struggled. I got a few things went wrong. I got heat stroke in the first week. I had gastro. I wasn't fueling properly. I was just, a lot of things happened. I kept getting knocked down, and I ended up running. I think I ended up doing about 3,500 Ks in the first 50 days.
Yep.
And we pulled the pin early on the road actually. So we got to Canberra on day 44, and I was struggling. Like, I just needed a bit more support with physios, osteos, and we obviously had that back home. So we came home, and this was probably the biggest turning point in the whole event actually. So we came home day 45 the next day, first run back, ran 100K down to Caulfield Park. Unreal to see everyone. Unreal day. And then day 46 we're at Albert Park. Ran about 85K, and I got to about 50K that day, and it was just like I was just cooked. Like, I just mentally, I just didn't want to run. I didn't want to speak to anyone. I didn't really want to run. So ended up getting 85K done that day, and then the next day tried to run and just nothing. Like, I didn't want to run, didn't want to speak to anyone, which are two of the things that I love doing.
Yep.
Obviously, that's what I love to do, and I decided to take a little reset. I'm struggling here. I need to take a little reset. So I took 4 days off. I still ran a little bit, just obviously to keep the legs ticking over, because I didn't want to, obviously if I stopped, I'd seize up. Spoke to my friends, spoke to my family, just had a little bit of downtime. And then day 51, started back up again, and ran 100K every day till day 100.
Incredible.
So sometimes you just got to, as I said, you got to practice what you preach. We're a mental health charity as well. So, like, I'm not going to go out there and keep pushing myself when I'm mentally really struggling, like, to the point where, like, I don't want to do it. I'm not going to push myself past that. Obviously, physically, I'm happy to push myself a little bit more through a bit of pain. But when that mental side of things goes, I don't think, for me personally, being a mental health charity, you got to practice what you preach. So, I decided to pull the pin, and that was the best thing I did. That really got things back on track for us. And the last 50 days was unbelievable back in Melbourne.
Yeah, well, I think just your ability to acknowledge that,
Yeah.
Jack, is probably one of the biggest hurdles in relation to mental health that we probably don't acknowledge enough. Is when's that time to actually pause, stop,
Yep.
reset, reload, get some positive energy around you. You touched on family, friends. Some people don't have either of those, a lot of those. So, what are some of the other key kind of learnings in amongst this run and this tribe and everything you created now? What have you kind of learnt in this 100?
Yeah, and I think just quickly before we go to that point as well, just to your previous question about what I sort of took out of the 100, that was the question, yeah. Like, hey,
Yep.
what I took out of it,
Yep.
and yeah, obviously, and what my goal was, so obviously back to that point of the goal of running 100K a day for 100 days, and obviously I didn't do that early on, and obviously I got back to Melbourne and only run 3,500 Ks in 50 days. So I'm
Yep.
well off where I needed to be. But in my head, I just rejigged it and I said, all right, let's just attack these as the last 50 days and the new 50 days. And I wanted to look at the bigger picture, what we were trying to do. And our whole aim at Miles for Smiles was to get as many people involved with the runs and create connections through movement and get people speaking about their mental health and creating that good energy down at the runs and inspiring other people to, push the boundaries and push their limits. So that's sort of what I took out of that. Like sometimes you just got to look at the bigger picture, why you were doing this. Whether I can't reach, obviously I knew I couldn't reach my goal, but I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep going and can finish off what I can. And that obviously brought us to day 100, and I ran 8,500 Ks by day 100. Ended up running 50 hundreds in a row in the last 50 days. So yeah, that was it was a great experience, and I couldn't have done it without everyone coming down and getting involved. That was the biggest point of difference from the road was having the support of the community, and that's something that I'll forever grateful for, and something that I definitely want to try and give back to a lot of people this year that came down and supported me. Yeah.
Did you kind of think that it was going to have this kind of ripple effect, or was it probably more than you even hoped for?
I think, definitely blew my expectations. The amount of people that came and got involved, and the thing that was a bit different this time around compared to the 50/50s was the different people that came down and got involved this time. It was so many different people compared to the people that came down and got involved in the 50/50s. Like a lot of people that came down and got involved in the 50/50s was from my footy club. This time around, there wasn't heaps of people from the footy club that came down. There was a lot of random people from different parts of the community that I've never met before. And
new connections, yeah.
I think that's what the best thing about it was. And something that that I really took out of it was just making those new connections.
Yep. Yeah, I think you've left many lasting impressions on a lot of people, Jack. Inspired a lot of people. Yeah, not just the crazy running man, but the crazy man in general. Mate, people of your infectious laugh, your ability to G up people and get people going, mate, it's a true gift, honestly. And you said yourself that that's one thing you've always kind of prided yourself on is the ability to talk to people and enjoy talking to people. That's something you do well. Kids and all that resonate and love looking at, coming up to someone like that and getting involved. I saw so many kids kind of in amongst the runs and stuff as well. It's inspiring, Jack. Long may it continue, mate. I look forward to, I believe the run club I just saw is back. So let's give that a quick pump at 6 p.m. Caulfield on Wednesdays.
Yes.
And most importantly, the mental health chats after it. So just give that a little plug, mate, while you're there.
Absolutely. So That's something we've had going for the last sort of year. So every Wednesday we're at Caulfield Park, 6 p.m. Easy 5 to 10k, slow pace. Just come down, get amongst it. We got the get the barbecue firing afterwards. Have a couple snags and have a chat afterwards. And then we've also got the run club at 8 a.m. on a Sunday down at Elwood Bathers. We usually do an easy 5 to 10k followed by a little swim and some brekkie down at one of the local cafes. We also, for people that would like to run a little bit longer, we end up meeting up a bit earlier. So, but we usually post that on the socials as well. So, we anyone's welcome. We'd love to keep building this Miles for Smiles community. This is just a start for us, getting the run club up and running, but because we feel like we it's been about 3 weeks since we finished up the run. So I've certainly been missing seeing a lot of people, and I'm sure people have been missing it as well. So it's a great opportunity to bring everyone together again twice a week. If you can come down once, whenever you can come down, and just have a chat and bury a few Ks.
Yeah, beautiful. I love that of burying the K's, mate. It's you bury a few demons in amongst that as well. Trying to fresh your mind up, and just tell us a little bit after that incredible high of that 100 Ks and the environment and everyone else. Did you have any of those moments after where you went a little bit deep and dark on yourself and, mate, what am I going to do next? Or do I need a break? Or, what's the next thing? You're one of those guys that seems to be always constantly challenged. Still got you, Jack?
Sorry, mate. I just lost you for a sec.
You're right. Still got you?
Yeah, you there? Yeah.
Yep.
Beautiful.
Yep, gotcha.
Sorry, mate. I lost you for 1 second, but we're back.
That's okay. That's
Sorry,
okay.
Could you repeat that again?
Yeah, I was just mentioning that, after an incredible high that these 100 days were, and that whole moment, the camaraderie and everything that went, was there a low moment after that? Because, it kind of all stopped after that. And then, you kind of got yourself refreshed and recharged again. And now you're up and going again. But what was that kind of moments like during those next maybe couple of weeks afterwards?
Yeah, so I obviously finished up on the December 15th, the 100. I'll just give you a quick rundown. So yeah, obviously I'm big on finishing off what I started. I had that goal of 10,000 K, and the body was feeling good. So I thought I'd have a crack at finishing off the rest of the Ks. I had a crack at doing 1,000 miles in 11 days. That was the aim. You know what? It was. I thought the body was good to go. Like the body was good to go. But yeah, it's something that hats off to Janos Kouros and people like Ned Brockman for doing it, because that was the lack of sleep was next level. So I got to Christmas Day and I had nothing left to give. So I think I did about 712k in about 6.5 days. But yeah, that mate, honestly, that even over those 6 or 7 days, the amount of people that came down and got involved, and these were people that I hadn't met during the 100s. These are people, random people. It was, honestly, blew me away. And I had so many of my close mates that were putting so much time and effort into coming down and supporting me. Like, we started one night. We started at 9 o'clock on a Sunday night, and we ran till 6:30 or 7 a.m. in the morning, and there was about 25 of us running throughout the night.
Yeah.
Like, it was just unbelievable. Even Christmas morning, we started at 3 in the morning, and I started at, what time did I start? Yeah, 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
And there was about 20 people down there. Christmas morning, 2 a.m. running.
Yeah, that's some. I don't think you are. I don't think you understand, and you reach there, Jack, and how much people power you can kind of pull in amongst what journey you're working on.
And look, I got to Christmas Day, and I knew I had nothing more to give, and I was content with what I've tried my absolute best. I put 110% in every day, and that's when I just knew that was it for me. I have nothing more to give. So yeah, pulled the pin Christmas night, and then so after that it was Boxing Day was obviously yeah, that was a good day. It was nice to go out for a normal brekkie and just
Yeah, I bet.
enjoy a day of normal life, not running 100k. But hey, to be honest, after that, the next sort of 5 or 6 days, and like even still a little bit now, but I was struggling big time. I didn't really know what to do with myself. I had a lot of anxiety. I was just real anxious about everything. So I had a fair bit of I sort of had a bit of social fatigue as well. Like obviously there's a lot of socializing and
Yep.
I just had nothing left to give. I didn't really want to speak to too many people. I didn't want
Cool.
to I didn't want to be around too many people.
Yep.
And it's very unlike me as well. And I think it was just obviously when you've done something for 4.5 months straight and you're in such a routine, and then you stop.
Mm.
And I had all this time on my hands, and I just was like, "Oh, what am I doing? Like, what am I doing?" And I sort of struggled. Yeah, for the first week was a bit grim.
Yep.
But yeah, I took myself up to on a little holiday to Noosa, which was nice. To put the feet up and relax. Was there solo for a bit, and then up there with the mate as well.
Yep.
So that was good to recharge the batteries. Do a bit of goal setting, and I think also, obviously, when you have that purpose every day of getting up, this is what you're doing, this is what you love doing, this is what
Mm.
you put your goal to, and then you finish, and obviously you have those highs
Yep.
of finishing, and then you sort of get brought back down to here to get the high highs, and then you get brought down to the low lows, which is very normal.
Mm.
But it's one of those things. It's about just coming to that middle ground now, and
Yep.
it doesn't have to be for me. It doesn't have to be running 100k every day this year. The challenge, it could be a goal of something. It could be a small goal. It could be something to do with miles for smiles, or it could be my working goal as a landscaper. Whatever it is, and that's So that's what That's what I've found. I went away to Noosa, did some goal setting. I've written out some goals for the year and what I want to do sort of with my work and miles for smiles, and I think that really helped me.
Beautiful.
But yeah, I still wouldn't say that I'm fully back to feeling 100%, and I'm okay with that. But I
Mm.
speak with my friends, my family, tell them how I'm feeling, and lean on them for some support because I had to. I was really struggling,
Yep.
like just a lot of anxiety straight away afterwards.
Mm.
But I also had a couple of other people that have done similar things to myself. Sean Bell reached out to me and gave me a bit of advice, and that was very nice of him and very comforting to know that he sort of went through the same thing, and that it's okay to feel the way I was feeling, and that's
Yep.
that's what I always tell people. It's okay to not feel okay.
Mm.
It's a
Yeah, very
normal
true.
feeling. So, but yeah, I'm excited for this year ahead, and there's a new challenge of obviously getting back into work. Like I didn't have I didn't have a job to go back to because I quit my job before I started. I finished my apprenticeship, so
Yep.
yeah, sort of doing my own work now. So that's been a new challenge. I've only just got back the other day, so
Great to hear.
yeah, we're doing that at the moment, and really looking forward to a big goal of mine this year is to really show what we're going to do at Miles for Smiles and help others out in the community.
Yep.
Um,
Beautiful.
this is something that I want to run full time. Miles for Smiles, the mental health charity, full time. So it's going to take a little bit of time to build up, but
Yep.
when you got that goal there, and we've kickstarted things with the 100s, we're just getting started here.
Yeah, great to hear, Jack. And people can follow the journey at milesforsmiles.com.au, but also make sure you jump on Jack's Instagram as well and give him a follow at the Crazy Running Man for all little updates and stories and all sorts of things. But milesforsmiles.com.au is where you're heading for all Jack's details and some stuff on the upcoming charity. Jack, I'd like to wish you all the best, mate, for 2025. 2024 was a big year, but 25 is going to be even bigger, mate. And that's exciting in your world. When we talk about mental health and positive news, that you're setting yourself a big challenge for 25. So, mate, I thank you for joining me first and foremost on episode 168 of So What's Been Happening. You're welcome anytime, mate, on our mental health journey. We'd love to have a chat about what's happening in your world in amongst time. Obviously, little smaller segments than tonight, but it's great that people can understand who who Jack Hanley is, and the crazy running man and the concept and how it all came about. You're doing some great things in the community, mate. Keep it up.
No, I appreciate it, Az. Thank you very much for having us on. It's been great to chat to you, and I really appreciate all the support from yourself, and it's been great to come on the show.
Beautiful. Thanks, Jack. Thanks for joining me, mate. We'll have a quick chat off air, but thanks for joining me tonight. Please, everyone, jump on and have a chat. Most importantly, I see yourself a challenge. We talk about mental health, and always at the end of it, I'd like you set everyone a challenge is to tomorrow, or even tonight. There's plenty of time left in tonight. That's for sure. Jack's told us that in amongst the chats that you could be running at midnight and still have some incredible chats to people about life and mental health. So I urge you, please jump on, text a mate, call a mate. Don't even text a mate. Call someone you haven't spoken to for a while and just say g'day. Random call. And just ask them how they are. And you might be surprised that it might just be one of those calls, one of those days that takes someone out of a bit of a dark spot they're in and gives them some positive news. So do that. Tell them about Jack's journey, most importantly. And it's been an incredible one. So once again, Jack, thanks for joining me, mate.
No, thank you. Thank you very much, Az.
Chat soon. How great was that to have a chat to the crazy running man, Jack Hanley? I know a few people were texting me and asking me how and when this journey and chat was going to happen. Sorry, Jack, for bugging you all the time as far as when we could get this up and going, but it was a really important one, mate, I thought. And I'd like to thank you on behalf of all the So What's Been Happening team that puts this little show together that we don't get a heap amount of viewers over time, but over time, or at the time, but over time, it does add up, and you never know when someone's can get something out of the conversation you have. So that's why we do it. But join us in the next couple of weeks. We've got some really good chats happening in the next month or so. So please come back and check up on us shortly. But for this week, get out there and enjoy catching up with a friend. If they may need you more than you think you need them. So put a call in and say good day. Catch you out there. See you soon.